Welcome to Understanding Pakistan. Here we're going to learn about Pakistan and where it is going. Coming today, we're going to talk about friends and enemies of Pakistan. We're going to talk about the foreign policies of Pakistan with their friends and enemies. And we're going to talk about Imran Khan, who is the new prime minister, and how that's going to impact Pakistan's future. So Pakistan's friends, they've got Turkey. Interesting thing about Turkey is that Turkey is they're friends, obviously, because they've got a lot of similarities. They're both Muslim, uh, dominantly Muslim, and because of that, they kind of relate with each other. They've got kind of the similar past, and so they've opened up a lot of trade. They trade a lot of the Turkey has a lot of resources like petroleum that Pakistan needs, and Pakistan has a lot of textiles, and so they'll trade back and forth, and so they do a very, very good job of helping each other out, and they also support each other politically, and that helps them a lot. Another friend of Pakistan is Saudi Arabia, and here they also relate with each other again because they come from a similar background, and they're both dominantly Muslim. And Saudi Arabia has also, supported most of what Pakistan has done. They're kind of interesting because they are sometimes friends with like India, which is generally an enemy to Pakistan. But and Turkey isn't necessarily a friend of Saudi Arabia, but Saudi Arabia and Pakistan are best friends with each other, so kind of cool. Um, they are probably the closest friends uh, between Saudi Arabia and Pakistan. They share a lot of things. Even during um, like Malayla's book, we learned that Saudi Arabia provided the aid that Malayla needed to fly her to the United Kingdom, and that was because of that close relationship that they have. Another one of Pakistan's friends is China, and it's kind of an interesting relationship. Partly, it started because of um, Pakistan recognizing the China's republic or their government in the 1950s as soon as China announced it. And so, because they recognized each other, they immediately started a friendship, and now are economically some of their best allies. China really needs Pakistan because it gives them access to their ports, to Pakistan's ports, and so they're able to transfer goods faster instead of having to send everybody all the way around the peninsula to deliver them in China. And then that brings a lot of money into Pakistan, which is what Pakistan needs. And so they've got some benefits by being friends with each other. The other thing they do a lot is they share military aid. A lot of military aid is sold to Pakistan from China. Pakistan is their biggest exporter, or they import, yeah, and so that's obviously makes a lot of money for China that way too. And so yeah, the next friend, I guess you could call him a friend, is the United States, and they're kind of like frenemies. The United States has uh, given Pakistan a lot of support and a lot of aid, a lot of financial aid, but has also, made some choices that haven't been in Pakistan's best interest, or they just don't relate with each other. Like before, the most of these other countries, with the exception of China, they have a Muslim background, and so they kind of relate with each other. The United States does not have that, and so that creates some challenges there, especially when they're trying to relate, and it's basically just money that's going on there. Um, some of the enemies of Pakistan is Afghanistan. Now, Afghanistan is because of the war that's going on. The Afghanistan also claims that some of Pakistani land should be Afghani, and this creates a division between the two countries, and so they're not very good friends, really at all. And then you also have India. India, since the very beginning of the creation of India and Pakistan, they have been against each other, and have not agreed. They've spent they've had 3 wars with each other, and so they are not happy with each other. This also determines a couple things about their military or about their foreign relations, because Pakistan, in order to feel like they're defending themselves, have spent a lot of money developing their nuclear arms, and so that is a big foreign relation aspect of it, is that they want to stay militarily advanced enough that they can kind of keep India at bay. So then that kind of brings up some different pieces. Their foreign policy is about economic growth, about making deals that benefit each country a lot. They're all about defense. Oops, a little small picture. And so, defending themselves, developing nuclear arms so that they can defend themselves against India. And recently, they've been really pushing towards political stability. And so that brings us to Imran Khan. And he is the most recent prime minister that was elected. That's a big deal because up to this point, there's not been a elected official that has made it all the way through their term. And so the previous prime minister, made it all the way through his term, and now he is the next one. And we're going to see how things go. And if he can become, if Pakistan can become more politically stable, then this will give them a way better advantage economically, as they will be able to start being or keeping, I guess maybe, commitments with other countries that will increase the chances of more economic stability. And so these are, those kind of things. This obviously impacts how they respond to the future, and uh, and so if they keep these 3 goals that they've been doing so far, they've got a good future ahead of them.